Hello, guys. I'm Sean,
Casey.
and this is the Adventures of S&C.
Sean, Casey.
Yeah, that's where the title comes from. But today we're going to be talking about our first times. Casey?
Alright, so we got first kiss, first heartbreak, first time, first date, first blowjob, and first eating out.
Pretty graphic shit.
I guess start us off with first kiss.
Okay, my first kiss was me and my two friends were going to the movies with these three chicks. I had a chick, and both of them had a chick. And that chick now is my now girlfriend. So we went to go see Twilight Breaking Dawn. Horrible movie. But we were sitting there watching the movie, and I look at her, and we start making out. And I didn't feel right making out. It didn't feel comfortable to me. And I knew I was fucking up because it was my first time. So we stopped making out, and all of them go to the girls' bathroom. So when they come back, one of the girls tell me, "Oh yeah, she said you were a horrible kisser." And then I felt so horrible through the rest of the movie. I didn't look at her or kiss her one more time. So yeah, that was my first kiss story. Casey?
Alright, my first kiss is a little awkward and like a lot of people don't believe me, but it's true.
So true.
Fuck you. I was 6, right? I was 6 and I had this friend, this girl who was a year older than me, and she lived 2 houses down, so we'd always hang out and shit. And so one day she walks up to me and she's like, "Hey, do you know what sex is?" And I was like, I was a little kid, so I was like, "No." She's like, "I'll teach you." And I was like, "All right." And so one day we're just hanging out in my basement. She's like, "All right, so this is what sex is." And like so basically we just undress like fully and she lays on top of me. There was no intercourse or anything, no penetration. But she just lays on top of me and we make out. And she was like, "So yeah, this is sex." And I was like, "All right." And that's how that went. Heartbreak.
Back. Okay, my first heartbreak. Well, again, with the girl I am dating now, that was my first heartbreak. But let's get to the story. Okay, so me and her, we were dating for probably about a month now, and I don't know why I fell so in love with her, but I just did. But I went to my friend's house. She was a girl, but she lived right by the school. And my girlfriend, she was gonna go to a band thing, play a band thing at the school. And so we were all gonna go. That's why we were at that girl's house. And so she calls up that girl and says, "Hey, tell Sean me and him we're done." And so they get off the phone, and she tells me, and fucking my whole world is destroyed because that was pretty much my first love, and she's broke my heart. But get on to that. She comes over to that girl's house, and we start walking down to the school. And I don't even want to look at her, so I stay behind while they're walking. And so they're all walking, and she's wearing heels. And so they're like, "Hey, Sean, you should carry her." And I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing anything for her. She just fucking broke up with me. I don't fucking care if she fucking steps on anything." And so they're all, "Oh, you're a fucked up person." I was like, "I don't fucking care." And so we're walking to the school. We watch her do her band thing, and we walk out of the school, and I'm just still completely devastated, just like depressed. Like everybody's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I look like a hot mess, if that's the right word
Hot
for
mess.
it."
I don't know. That would be the right word. Probably not.
But I just look like I'm about to cry my eyes out. But yeah. Continuing, my friend, that he dated her first, but then I started dating. But she was still like completely in love with him, and so he brought his friend with. but his friend's a complete douche. He's always trying to steal everybody's girlfriend, and all the girls like him. I don't know why. He's fucking ugly. But
That's a dick thing to say.
I know. But a lot of people think he's a dick. So
Well,
whatever.
He is a dick.
Yeah. But so we're walking to her house. She lives behind the school.
Like 2 blocks.
Yeah,
like
two blocks behind, if that. Yeah. And we're walking there, and
I wasn't in this story.
I didn't even know him when this happened.
Yeah, I didn't even know this fag.
But he starts carrying her to her house, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my god, dude, I cannot do this. I cannot do it. I was like, I cannot do this. This is the most horrible thing I've ever had to go through. And so we get to her house, and she's all giggling and laughing, and they're all hugging and stuff. And he's like, hey, you should call me. She's like, okay. And so, yeah, I was pretty fucked up. Not like from drugs or anything, but from love. That's what love will do to you. Don't get in love, kids. It fucks with your mind. It doesn't fuck with your mind. It fucks your emotions.
Alright, first heartbreak for me. Fuck. So, I was in like 7th grade. Like little 13-year-old, right? Yeah, it was stupid. Like,
hey, I was in 7th grade too. We're all the same here.
But so it was this chick. Crazy story. We actually met like on Facebook or some shit. I was like, oh damn, this chick's hot. I'm gonna send her a friend request. She all messaged me. She's like, hey. But she was like, so where do you live? And I was like, Billings. She was like, me too. So started hanging out, started dating or whatever. Like 4.5 months. I don't know. We spent every day after school together, every day on the weekend. Like we were just like little kids in love, And so we were all like planning it out, like, oh yeah, we're gonna lose our virginity to each other, because were all like, ooh, we're in love. But so I meet this new friend. She's like 18, I was 13. We weren't gonna do anything because that would be weird. But so she actually pierced my lip in the trailer park she lived in, which he actually lived in. But it was pretty cool. So I go and hang out with her after I get it done, and I was like, oh, look at my lip. And she was like, oh, that's so hot. And I started telling her about Rissa. I was like, just talking her up. I was like, yeah, dude, this chick's fucking awesome. And she got all jealous. So later that night, I was staying the night at a friend's house, and I had to sneak in the middle of the night. And I wake up to them. I slept in the computer room, and they wake me up yelling, get in the closet, like, because their grandma was coming. And so like, I had to sit in the closet for 2 fucking hours while their grandma was just like sitting on the computer calling people and shit, saying the same goddamn thing over to like 5 different people. But my girlfriend calls me, and she's like she calls me, and I can't answer because I'm in the closet. So I hang it up, and I text her, look, I can't talk right now. And she's like, well, well, until you can call me, as of right now, we're through. And I was like, the fuck? So I ended up getting out of there, and I just didn't want to call her because it was kind of awkward because she just broke up with me. And then like 4, 5, 6 days later, I don't know, but I was messaging her on Facebook because somebody told me that she had went and fucked a 17-year-old and like lost her virginity and shit. And we were all talking on the phone, and or not on the phone, but on Facebook. And I was all like, is this true? And she was like, well, yeah, like, why do you care? And I was just like straight bawling my eyes out messaging her. I was like being a little fag. I was like,
You can't say fag.
dude, I don't care. It's in my vocabulary. I'm sorry. I was being a little bitch. Yeah, I was like, but I love you. And yeah, that was like, it was fucked up on her part. She just goes and fucks some dude. But anyways, first time.
Okay, first time. Well, me and my friend, we were at my house, and my uncle, he was living in the shed. I know, pretty fucking ghetto, but he was living in a shed, and he made this shed into like a house. It was pretty badass. And so he wasn't home, and nobody was home at my house. So me and him were like, oh, we should throw a party. And I was like, okay. So I didn't want to throw a party in my house. I don't know. It was small, and I didn't want anything to get broken. And so I was like, hey, we can just invite like 2 chicks over, me and you can get laid. And I was like, okay. And then my uncle shed, it was locked, so me and him were trying to break into it. And so we we stopped trying to break into it, and we still invited the chicks. I don't know why. So we called up these 2 chicks, and we were like, hey, you should come over. And they were like, okay. So because they didn't live that far, they lived like a mile or 2 away. So they rode their bikes all the way down there, and one of the chicks. This is kind of weird, but one of the chicks is my girlfriend. Actually, yeah, she's my now girlfriend.
Your current, yeah.
Yeah, my current girlfriend. She's kind of in these stories a lot, but yeah. So uh, we uh, we go back to my house. I leave my friend outside. I'm like, dude, you cannot come in. Probably gonna get laid. Because I was telling him, oh yeah, dude, the other chick can go after you. Because the chick that I was gonna fuck, me and her had some history. Me and her dated for a while. And yeah. So we go to my house, and I make my current girlfriend sit on the couch, and me and this chick go on the bed. And so, like, I'm getting it with this chick, right? My mom comes in and is like, Sean, what are you doing to that girl? Get off her, stop. I'm like, look, Mom, not gonna stop. Not gonna stop. And then she's like, oh, whatever. She goes out of the room, and I'm continuing, right? My mom comes in again, and she's like, you better stop. I'm gonna kick them both out. You stop. Look what you're doing to this poor girl. She's on the couch and just watching TV while you guys are doing that. And I was like, oh yeah, this kind of looks bad. And so I didn't get a finish, but it was pretty good. I know some of you may say that does not count losing your virginity, but we did it for a really long time, so fuck you. So, but when I came outside, because my mom kicked us all out, came outside, there's like 5 people out there, and they're like, yo, Sean, what's up, man?
What's up?
And I don't even know why there was that many people out there. And so yeah, and yeah, that was my first time story.
All right, my first time. Let's see. So it was the first Heartbreak girl. It was kind of awkward because we were all like, we dated. We actually ended up dating again 5 months later. Stupid me. And yeah, so I was just texting her one time, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna fuck you," and she was like, "All right then, bring 2 condoms next weekend," because I'd stay the night over there all the time, and so I guess like the rumor is when guys lose their virginity, they stick it in right away they come, so then they need a second condom to actually get it on, but that wasn't my case. So I ended up bringing 2 condoms. We were all like, it was weird because we were all like sitting down there planning to fuck, like waiting for her little sister to go to bed, just like peeking out at her all night, like, oh, is she asleep yet? And so she finally fell asleep. We're all sitting down there like making out, I'm all like got my hand down her pants and shit. And so she was like, so how do you want to do this? And I was like, bitch, I want doggy. And so, cause I just had my heart set on losing my virginity in doggy. So we're all getting it, and it was really fucking awkward because I was like I started off really slow because I didn't know what I was doing, and like it was embarrassing because she was like, you can go faster, and I was like, man, but so we went on for like an hour, and like I just I progressed, I got better within the hour, and then like an hour later, she's all like, well, I'm kind of tired. I want to go to bed. And I was like, man, I don't even get a finish. I felt like I was really bad at it. Although I've gotten better, trust me. But yeah, that was my first time. First blowjob.
First blowjob. Okay. Well, my first blowjob was this girl.
This bitch, right?
Me and her started dating. We were dating for probably about like 2 months, maybe. At that, it was in the middle of the summer. So her mom would always let me come over to her house, But her mom would never let me spend the night. So me and her would hang out till like 9 or 10 o'clock until her mom would go to sleep, and then she'd sneak me back into her house. But the thing was, her mom slept upstairs, and she slept downstairs. So her mom really couldn't hear us or anything. So me and this chick, we were getting it on, and she was like, "Oh, what do you want me to do?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like,
What do you want me to do to you?
and I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, do you want me to give you a blowjob or anything?" I was like, "Yeah," since I never had a blowjob, and I was like, "Sure." So she started sucking my dick, and then I was like, "Wow, I never really imagined to be like this. Is probably one of the worst things I've ever gotten in my life." And it was like that feeling when you on Christmas when you get clothes instead of like a toy. That's what that felt
Oh, thank you so much.
like. Yeah, it was shitty. She was a lot of teeth. It wasn't really good. She kept stopping and asking me, "Oh, am I doing good?" And I didn't get to finish. It wasn't really that fun. It was really shitty. Worst thing ever. Fuck.
All right, my first blowjob. So, same bitch as all my other stories, pretty much. My first everything was with this girl, but I don't know. I like this story. So it was her mom's birthday, and we were all hanging out and whatnot. And so we're at her grandparents' house, and her mom and her sister and her grandparents are all like off getting dinner ready, and we're all hanging out in like this piano room or some shit, and we're all like like making out and shit and I was all like, yeah, I want to fuck you and like shit like that, because it was after I lost my virginity, but so we're all shit. Okay, sorry. So we're eating dinner, like we eat the cake and whatnot, and then we go back to her pad. And we're all hanging out downstairs like we do. Her parents are or her mom and her sister are doing whatever upstairs. And I was like, yo, blow me. And she was all like, alright. So she all gets down there and shit, and like, I don't know if like other guys notice this shit, but like, the perfect amount of teeth where it's not like, yeah, it's like, it's not no teeth, like you can feel it, but it makes it like 10 times better, and it's just like, ah! But yeah, and it was just hilarious, because I was like, I could hear her mom talking upstairs about some birthday shit, and I was like, oh yeah, dude, it's her mom's birthday that she's blowing me, and I came in her mouth, and she was all like, what the fuck? And I was just like, sorry. Alright. First, eating out.
Okay, this is a hell of a fucking story.
Dude, this story's fucking hilarious. Get it.
Okay, so that chick I was telling you guys about, yeah. Her mom wouldn't let me stay the night, but her mom would go to work at like 8 o'clock in the morning, but she'd never come downstairs. But this chick would go upstairs and make sure her mom didn't come downstairs. And when she left, then she'd come back downstairs. And then so one morning, me and her were just sitting there, and we were like, messing around. She was giving me some handies, And so I was like, I want to eat you out because, never tried it. Everybody was doing it nowadays. And so I wanted to try it. So I was doing it for about 10 minutes, right? Her dog starts fucking barking. We were like, shut up, shut up, shut up. And so we stop, and all of a sudden, wait. We get our clothes back on, though. But all of a sudden, her fucking dad walks in, and he's like, what were you guys doing? And I was like, nothing. He was like, I know what you guys were doing. I was like, what? Like, you guys were having oral sex. We were like, I was fucking scared at that moment. Her dad was a big ass motherfucker. And so I was like, no, we weren't. No, we weren't. And she was like, no, we didn't, Dad. You don't even know.
You don't even know.
And he's like, I heard. And we were like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
dude, that's the part that always fucking gets me.
Yeah, he was standing outside of the door listening until we were done. Like, so he's like, yeah, I heard everything. You guys were having oral sex. And I was like, fuck, dude. And so she gets dressed 'cause she was in her underwear, and he takes us upstairs. And so he's giving us this big lecture, and she's like, God told me to come here today and check on my daughter. And it was a good thing that God told me to do that, because I came here and found something horrific.
Horrific.
And he's like, I'm a Christian, and Christians aren't supposed to have sex until they're married. And
Until they're married.
he's like, the vagina is a special place, and it's only for a woman's husband. I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck. And so he's like, call your mother. And so I was like, I call my mom, and I'm like, look, Mom, me and that girl got caught fucking messing around. She's like, see, I told you, Sean. You shouldn't have been messing around with that chick. I knew you guys were going to get caught eventually. I was like, I know, I'm sorry. I was like, well, can you pick me up? She was like, no, I'm at work. And so I was like, fuck. And then she reminded me, she was like, your friend Michael, doesn't he live around there? And I was like, oh shit, yeah, my friend does live down here. And so I was hoping to leave, and he was like, no, you gotta wait for her mother to get there. And so 10 minutes later, he's like, look, I'm not gonna hold you hostage. You can leave. And so
you can leave.
I left, and I start walking down to my friends. I start running there, actually. I was running. I was like scared for my life. I thought he was gonna come and try to find me or something. And I run to my friend's house, and thank God his sister was out there. And so I ran over there. I was like, dude, can you please let me stay over here, man? My mom won't come pick me up. And he's like, sure, man. And
bro.
This happened at like, I don't know, 11 or like noon. And I was over there till about like 8 o'clock. And so his grandma finally took me home, because we lived in the same neighborhood. And yeah.
Alright. My first eating out. It's pretty awkward. Again, same chick, bitch. So we were all hanging out at her house and whatnot. And like Sean had told me, he's like, bro, dude, you gotta eat a puss, bro. It tastes just like marshmallows. And I was like, alright then. And I was all hanging out at her house, and I was like, bro, let me eat you. And she was like, alright, let me just go grab a towel first, because it can get pretty wet down there. And I was like, ugh. But, like, I know that now. But, so I'm all like getting ready to, and I'm all antsy. I'm all like looking up, and then I go for it, like, fuck. And then I just do it, and I'm down there for like a minute or two until I stop. And I'm just like, dude, this tastes like sweat and piss. I'm done. And then the ride home the next morning, I'm calling him, and I'm like, dude, you're a fucking liar, bro. Dude, puss tastes nothing like marshmallow. It tastes like sweat and fucking piss.
It was the best phone call ever.
Alright, yeah, those were our first times.
Okay.
I don't know how to end this, but
yeah, if you like this video, leave us a like and
comment, subscribe, whatever.
Subscribe, yeah.
We're new to this shit.
Yeah, we're new.
Look at this. We're using a fucking paper plate for our list.
Yeah, our list. Help us get pretty popular on the YouTube. The YouTuber.
I guess just if you like it, spread the word.
And if you forgot our names, I am the wonderful Sean. This is
the shitty Casey.
I was gonna say deviant, but
the deviant.
Bitch.
But double snap.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, we'll probably make another video. Probably do this every week. What?
Probably.
One a week, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Whatever. We'll find a schedule.
Okay. Bye, YouTubers.
Bitches.